electing who becomes the next leader of this country.
We'll go for a very quick break. The news returns shortly. Stay with us. Media platforms, Facebook, facebook.com/Coretv News, and our Twitter handle at Coretv News NG. And reach our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Coretv. Leave a space and then news. Now, staying with the 2015 polls, with just a few days to the March 28 presidential election, a pro-Jonathan group is demanding that permanent voter cards be used without smart card readers. This, it says, is because the devices cannot guarantee a credible process. Addressing a press conference in Abuja, the National Unity Group argued that the outcome of the election could plunge the country into avoidable crisis if INEC does not abandon its plans to use the card readers. The group maintained that the refusal of INEC Chairman Atahiru Jega to publish results of the test run carried out in selected states leaves a lot to be desired.
In order to avert avoidable political and constitutional crisis, INEC should quickly discontinue the planned use of smart card readers and instead use the PVCs without smart card readers, as was done in Osun and Ekiti states. It is instructive to recall that the smart card were not used in the 2011 elections, and yet the elections were adjudged locally and internationally as the best in the history of Nigeria, as free, fair, and credible. The signs are now clear that if the smart card readers are used, the results will be less credible than the 2011 election, and this will plunge the country into avoidable crisis and anarchy.
Few days to reschedule elections in Edo, members of the civil society group have intensified awareness campaign on the need for Nigerians to come out en masse to exercise their franchise. Omobude Aro, the coordinating general of the civil society organization, who led others on a sensitization rally across major streets in Benin metropolis, said the aim is to help complement efforts of INEC in voter education.
Members of the civil society will trek around major streets, Benin City, in company of security operatives to share views and sensitize the public on the need to come out and vote on the set date, called on people who have collected their permanent voter cards to ensure they vote. Coordinator of the group, Imobu Diago, says the era has gone where activities of thugs determine the fate and aspirations of the people, adding that only their PVC and the card reader can do the magic.
Every vote now they count. Power has come back to the people. Every vote now they count because of the card reader machine. Nobody fit if your vote. People not go vote maybe 100 number that they count because of the card reader. So we for civil society, we they support the card reader and they must use them. Because they don't give power to the people. I said, give power to who?
It will be recalled that the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Mikey Guinea, had informed the public in one of the interactive sections with civil groups that the only challenge they are facing is for the people to endeavor to come out and vote, stressing that previous records indicate that fewer people voted compared to the voter cards collected.
As President Barack Obama advises Nigerians against violence in the forthcoming general elections, Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, is getting ready to play host to the vice presidential candidate of the APC, Yemi Osinbajo, and was the theater of war as APC supporters who were on their way to the town hall meeting to be addressed by the APC vice presidential candidate. Rashid reports from Ado-Ekiti.
The event, originally designed as a walk, was later converted to a town hall meeting of the All Progressives Congress. And as the crowd waited for the party's vice presidential candidate, Yemi Osinbajo, thugs allegedly descended on those coming to the venue, beating them silly. These party supporters give an account of what they experienced.
We are coming from Igede. We have about 7 buses branded coming. As we are coming, we have to bypass the main road to pass through the outskirts so that we will not have any interference with anybody in the town. There was a trailer that blocked the road. We were even thinking that the trailer was about turning. The next thing we had was gunshots. Bam, 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 from nowhere. Initially we are trying to look at what is really happening. Maybe it was a kind of misunderstanding. But later we saw these guys, about 4 or 5 FT guys. They dressed in black, started shooting. The whole result was this.
If truly you have supporters, if truly the people of Ekiti are for you, I see no reason why any party or any governor, for that matter, should go out and be waylaying people. In the course of that, attacking them. Does it mean, if this is few days to election, if this is happening few days to election, what will happen on election day?
On arrival of the vice presidential candidate with other party leaders, Yemi Osinbajo says the security agencies and the government must do more to protect people in the lead up to the polls. He also admonished members of his party to be steadfast while urging the people of Ekiti to vote massively for the APC.
Regardless of party, regardless of tribe, government cannot afford to fail in that responsibility. Once a government fails in that responsibility, it has failed in everything. So that's what we expect. We expect only that the government will do the right thing, ensure security of life.
As part of the working arrangement between the APC and the Labour Party in the state, Labour Party leader Opeyemi Bamidele condemned the incessant attacks on opposition supporters in the state. He, however, added that the March 28 elections will change the tide of events in the state.
The issue at stake now is how all of us can work together to ensure the victory of General Muhammadu Buhari and Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The International Court of Justice is waiting to prosecute people at the end of this election. As far as I'm concerned, anyone who perpetrates violence because you are in a position of authority is taking the risk of being prosecuted by the International Court.
The coming days is expected to be full of political intrigues with a tinge of violence, despite repeated assurances. Rashid, Coretv News, Ado Ekiti.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has accused the All Progressives Congress of producing a documentary with a view to inciting the masses against the federal government. Spokesman for PDP Presidential Campaign Council, Femi Fani-Kayode, said this at a news conference in Abuja, that the opposition figures will be held responsible if any of its leaders is hurt. He also lashed out at the APC for suggesting that the government had a hand in the abduction of over 200 schoolgirls from Chibok, Borno State, almost a year ago.
The opposition party is such that they are prepared to say and do anything in order to denigrate the powers that be, to undermine our nation, and to incite our people and to bring the president, the government, and its officials into disrepute. The latest video, which was produced by a group called APC New Video, was quietly procured and secretly viewed by the intelligence units of this directorate. Amongst other things, they have listed as topics a number of issues and allegations, some of which are listed below. 1, that many Nigerians are using private jets, and that this, in some way, is indicative of the corrupt nature of the Nigerian people, which is, of course, absurd. 2, that in the last 4 years, the government has spent 48 billion naira on the presidential air fleet, which is, of course, a preposterous lie. Thirdly, they raised issues about the kidnapping of the Chibok girls, insinuating that somehow the government had a hand in the whole affair and that they are hiding the girls. Fourthly, they raised issues about the comments of Stephen Davis, the Australian negotiator, who alleged that a friend of the president's, Governor Ali Modu Sheriff, is sponsoring Boko Haram. They made all kinds of allegations, including the alleged relationship between the president of Chad, the president of Nigeria, and Governor Ali Modu Sheriff. Needless to say, these allegations are baseless and they are simply unbelievable.
We'll go for another quick commercial break. When the news returns, we'll bring you more stories as well as news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
The power to change Nigeria is in your hands. Now is the time to go out and vote. Vote to Buhari, vote for change. Chandela Dibo, we to go sabi change. So you vote to give my well.
Say no to corruption. Say no to insecurity. No to unemployment. No to inequality. Vote for Buhari.
army was not supposed to be visible or to be around any polling unit unless there is a breakdown of law and order and they have been invited by the Inspector General of Police.
That elections are sheltered in Africa is no news. But in Nigeria, it comes with consequences.
Against the will of one man.
Consequences that have toggled the nation's politics and may shape how Nigeria elects.
This is the year of PDP.
The momentum gathers.
When we promise, we deliver.
The fireworks is unending.
We did it and continue to do it.
55 years this year, and in her fourth republic, this is Nigeria's 5th general elections. All the action, all the news, the updates, and the news behind the news we will bring to you live from the field and in the studio on Coretv News as Nigeria elects.